up, Bulls Nation, and welcome in to the CHGO Bulls Pregame, presented by PointsBet. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you sign up to live your bet life. I'm Matt Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. That's my pal Big Dave. Follow him on Twitter at Pal, BAWL Sports. We're hanging out here at our West Loop Studios, downtown Chicago. Producer Joey's hanging out with us. Our Bulls insider, Will Gottlieb, will join us for part of postgame following Bulls Bucks tonight. Hope y'all are well. I am not. During Billy Donovan's meeting with the media pregame, we got the news that we were all fearing. Some of us were expecting. Lonzo Ball ain't coming back. Big Dave?
I was waiting on the sound effect, honestly. I really thought one was coming. I really, truly did think one was coming.
Something along the lines of a toilet flushing. Can we get a toilet flushing?
Yeah, let me see the graphic of it because that makes me feel so much better. Thank you, Joey.
Lovely.
That was nice.
There you see a tweet from Shams.
There you go.
This one is the most definitive. So, like 2 minutes before this tweet, Woj also tweeted saying that there is less and less optimism. It's the way he phrased it, I believe, that Lonzo Ball would be returning. And this all stemmed from Billy Donovan's meeting with the media pregame, where he said that, guess what, Lonzo experiencing some discomfort after trying to ramp up activity on that surgically repaired knee. He said that they anticipate a team meeting with Lonzo and his people and Bulls people either Wednesday or Thursday for a final determination as far as the next steps. Obviously, this rules out Lonzo for the rest of the regular season. Returning to the playoffs at this point, extreme long shot scenario. I am calling it what it is. I'm calling a spade a spade. Lonzo will not be suiting up until next season. That's how I see it. That's how I've been afraid that it's this is what I thought. When they said we're shutting him down for 10 days, this is what I thought, and this is what I prepared myself for. He ain't coming back this season. And even when you prepare yourself and expect the worst,
there you go.
Somehow, Dave, I still feel like utter shit right now.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You prepared yourself. You constantly said this was a possibility. You felt like it was coming. You predicted it. You saw the writing on the wall. You are correct, and you feel even worse.
I still somehow feel awful.
Because Matt likes being correct. He enjoys being right.
It's true.
And for this reason, I thought he would get something from this, but it just seems to validate his sadness. And it sucks. Honestly, it sucks. I'm not here to cheer him up. I'm just here to enjoy the train wreck and what's going on. Oh, thank you, TJ, for enjoying my hat.
So mean.
Yeah.
If I can't count on you to cheer me up, who can I count on?
Okay, you want some cheer? Yeah. All right, here you go. The Bulls are going to the playoffs. Does that help you?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? There's no helping this man today. There's no helping this man today.
You know what would really cheer me up is if the Bulls take it within their own hands, beat Milwaukee tonight to clinch their own ticket instead of just hoping the Cavs lose.
Actually, that would make you feel better.
It would definitely make me feel better. I'd still feel like shit, but I'd feel like slightly shinier shit.
Right. And everybody likes shiny shit, right? Everybody wants that non-shiny shit. Everyone wants the shiny one.
Shout out to Charlie who said, "Same, Matt. I've been expecting the worst, and it still sucks." Yeah, it sucks because you know what? Two of the Bulls' biggest problems are right now: their defense and their three-point shooting. What does Lonzo Ball provide? Defense and three-point shooting. Yeah. I'm gonna go jump off a freaking cliff.
All right, now I won't let him do that. That's kind of where I step in there. But yeah, I want him to feel all this emotion. I'm not going to take this away from him because it's not good news. It sucks and it's bad news and it hurts. You know what I'm saying? Because of the season that the Bulls are having. Now all you can do is what I hate. And what I hate so much, Matt, is the what if. I cannot stand a what if because it just for years now. Now it's going to be, well, what if he was there? What if he was there? Because now I got to hear, well, what if D Rose didn't get hurt and he was there? Well, what if Rondo didn't get hurt and he was there? Well, now I got to hear, what if Lonzo didn't get hurt and he was there? I got to hear these what ifs, and I can't stand what ifs because now it's just more debates that's going to come up, more arguments and things like that. But I think the thing also to this, Matt, though, is even with Lonzo, I think everything was still the same as far as where we thought the Bulls would end up, correct?
I mean, yeah, if another way to ask that question, do you think Lonzo Ball returning would have changed the the likelihoods or the odds of the Bulls' fate come playoff time, not all that much. I think even if Lonzo Ball comes back for a first-round playoff series, whether it be against Boston, Milwaukee, Philly, the Bulls are still big underdogs in that series, and the Bulls still probably lose that series, especially when you think about the fact that if Lonzo Ball were to come back, you're talking about a guy who's been out since mid-January, early January, really, playing in his first competitive basketball in a playoff series, not having his conditioning, being rusty, and not playing at 100%.
Yeah.
Honestly, and like I hate to do it, but yes, I do. A lot of these contextual pieces remind me about Bulls fans freaking out leading up to the playoffs in 2013. Is Derek coming back? Is he not coming back? Now, Lonzo Ball is not a one-time MVP the way that Bulls fans saw Derrick Rose and put all their hopes and dreams on his shoulders.
At all.
But you know what I hated is the will he, won't he? I hated it. I hated it for our sake. I hated it for Derek's sake. And what I hope is that tomorrow or Thursday, whichever one it is, preferably tomorrow, they have their little meeting with Lonzo and Clutch Sports and whoever else needs to be there and say definitively, and not just wishy-washy words and phrases from Woj and Shams, done, shut down, not coming back this season. Because that was the most frustrating part for Bulls fans when Derek was making his way back. Are we going to throw him in there for a playoff series? Is he ready? And then the Bulls did that thing where they're like, well, he's been medically cleared to play. And then everybody was like, well, if he's medically here, why ain't he playing? And then people started asking questions about Derek's mental fortitude and all. And it was a freaking nightmare for everybody. So here's a quick heads up, a piece of advice, Bulls. Don't do that. Don't do it that way. Tell us and tell it to us straight. Lonzo's done. The sooner you tell us, the better. There. We good?
No, not yet. I'm going to let that marinate because he's sad and he's upset on that. The one thing that's different, though, from that is they have been straight up with us about what's going on. Anytime they told us it was going to be news about Lonzo, they told us. They were like, we're going to give you news here. Okay. We're going to give you news here. Okay. It was the news that you feared. It was the news you didn't want to hear, but it was the news that happened. It was the news that my man Matt expected. It sucks, man, because you just see – and the kind of season Lonzo was having, too. It was his best season. Like, honestly, it was his best season.
He was averaging 13, 5, and 5.
He was balling out.
42% from 3.
Yeah, he was playing great. Offensive, awesome. Defense, awesome. I mean, the assists were amazing. I mean, locking down so many different defenders, playing basically every position on certain possessions. He would play every position out there on defense, making sure everybody, knew where they needed to be. Masked a lot of things as far as DeMar and Zach's defense is concerned. He masked a lot. And not having him out there is going to suck. Period. Point blank. It's going to suck. It's
that sucks.
It's going to suck, man. That's all I can tell you. It's going to suck. But I can't equate it to – I hear you in the example you were making with Derrick Rose. And you're right. There are some similarities there with that. But I think the biggest one to me is the differences in the front office and the people who are running the show.
I agree. And in a lot of instances, it seemed like they were kind of throwing Derek under the bus.
Yes.
Because they were the ones letting leak, hey, Doc said he's good to go. For some reason, Derek doesn't want to play.
Right.
They threw Derek under the bus, and that sucked.
They did.
But for the sake of the mental health of Bulls fans, my hope is that this new front office and Lonzo and everybody involved, once they have this meeting that they apparently need to have before making it officially official,
right.
Do it and do it quickly, and just tell it, give it to us straight. We're all adults here. Give us the bad news. We can take it. Don't jerk us around. Nobody likes being jerked around, especially me.
He's upset.
I'm very upset right now.
How's his anger meter already in the eights?
But hey, silver lining, at least the Bulls aren't playing Zach LaVine tonight either because they're resting his aggravated knee. Bulls are going to lose by 40 tonight. Big Dave, tell the people about PointsBet, would you?
Also, Matty Ledge won't play tonight, so yeah.
Then they'll lose by 30 instead of 40.
The disrespect. Oh, the disrespect. Oh, and the best way to support CHGO is to download that PointsBet app and use that code CHGO when you sign up. And if you do that right now, you'll get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. And that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive that free CHGO membership, which unlocks all that web content, and you'll even get that free T-shirt of your choice from that CHGO Laja. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, a free T-shirt from the CHGO locker, and all for making a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. We see y'all posting out there, showing your shirts and all your cool stickers that you're getting. It looks absolutely amazing.
Look great.
I don't like it because I don't have mine.
Me neither.
They look really, really
Check
cool.
my lobby again today. Nothing.
They look really cool. See, this adds to the anger levels. Get our shirts. Oh, shout out CHGO, baby. Introducing PointsBet's new feature also, y'all, the live NBA same game parlay. For the first time ever, you can build the perfect live NBA same game parlay, and you can do that only with PointsBet. And you might want to check on Parlay Peck. You know what he do, y'all. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. And if you want more, you can also boost your live same game parlays. You can watch live, parlay live, boost live, and partay live with PointsBet. Oh, yes. And if you're in Illinois, if you're in this wonderful, wonderful city, in this beautiful, beautiful state, you can download that PointsBet app right now. Register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. You don't have to go outside in that confusing weather. I had on a fur coat and slippers today. I don't know what's happening outside. It is very confusing. And it started raining, and I think it was snow. I'm lost, all right? I don't know what's happening. So what are you waiting for, y'all? Because once that game starts, you don't just bet, Matt Peck.
You live your bet life.
With PointsBet. Joey, hit me.
Occupation? Rich.
I love that. I love that. All right, I got a 5-legger for you tonight.
Ooh.
Bulls Bucks. Here we go. Bulls fans might not like this, but if you like money, this one might hit for you. I'm taking Vooch over 19.5. We're going to talk about Vooch in a minute and the way that he's been playing and knocking down shots more efficiently recently.
Sure.
Plus, no Zach LaVine. Give me a big Vooch night. Okay. I'm taking Middleton over 20.5.
I don't like that.
It's been a lot of Giannis and Drew Holiday. I feel like Middleton hasn't had like that game against the Bulls.
Okay.
They're going for the season sweep on us.
That's true.
For whatever reason, I feel Middleton tonight.
Okay.
I'm taking Vooch over 1.5 made threes. Again, we're going to talk about it. I'm taking Giannis to get 10+ boards. He'll do that in the first quarter. And the fifth and final leg, Bucks minus 6.5 to cover. Sorry, not sorry. That gives me a lot more hope than a Bulls win or Bulls even covering plus points tonight. Those are plus 1,100 odds. I use my daily PointsBet booster to boost that up to plus 1220. And I'm looking forward to making some money tonight.
Oh, the first time I seen him smile during this, he was happy.
I mean, it wasn't even a smile. It was like a half. It was like a half smile.
It's like a villain smile.
Straight face.
It was a villain smile. It was like, I will make money. Yes, yes. I don't like it, but I will make this money today. Congratulations.
That's a genuine Dave would just cheered me up on. All right, now we have to talk about more fun news. Coby White is throwing absolute trash towards NBA baskets right now. Big Dave,
yeah.
I know you wanted to talk about this, so take it away.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Coby White has been struggling. That's what's been happening. And that's what's been going on. And you know what's funny? And Joey, if you got the graphic for me, you can put that on up, please. Listen, what's been funny is people have been coming to me in my DMs and my Twitter, man. Look, man, you have been so easy on Coby. Why you been so easy on Coby? And then I'm starting to get stuff now. Hey, man, you got to lay off for Coby. You got to listen. That's when you know you're telling the truth when you're somewhere in the middle. Okay, that's when you know you're telling the truth. All right. When Coby does right, I'm all over it. When Coby does wrong, this is what you get.
It's like how Bulls fans call me both a hater and a homer.
Correct.
I know I'm batting down the middle.
It depends. Depends on the player. Depends on we won't get into that. But you see it right there, man. That last 5 games, he has truly been struggling. Whew. The 5 points, and what definitely jumps out to you guys is the 8% from the 3-point line. 2 of 24 in his last 5.
I can smell those
range.
stats from here.
Oh, that is just disgusting. But what that did for me though, Matt, especially when I saw that 8% after I finished laughing. When I saw that, the first thing I said was, there's no way to go but up for this. Because whether you thought Coby was the guy, remember earlier in the season when he was scoring 30, hitting all the threes, and people were like, nah, he's going to come back down to earth. He's going to do that. This dude right here, that ain't Coby White either. That's all I'm trying to say. This is not the norm for Coby White. Shooting 8% from 3 is not the norm for Coby White. I think tonight, Matt, he will have a much, much better game. I expect Coby White to be hitting them shots tonight. I don't know why. This is just a feeling. And you know what's interesting, Matt? I was looking at in the 2 games of those 5 games that they showed that 2 of those games where he actually they actually won. Coby White plus 18, plus 17 in both those games. So he wasn't scoring, but he was doing other things. But again, I showed that to highlight. That's what we got Coby out there for, is to score. So if he's not doing that, it looks even worse. Even though he got the plus 18, the plus 17 in those 2 victories, it looks worse when he's not putting the ball into the basket, man. And I expect him to start doing that. I really do.
Connor in the comments said, time for Io, Coby, and P-Will to step up big time. It's not just Coby that struggled recently from behind the three-point line. I believe Io, 11 of his last 43.
Fact.
That's also gross. You say you know where to go, but up.
Nowhere to go, man.
He's 2 of his last 24 behind the three-point line, Coby is. He could be 2 of his last 30 after tonight. That's you are not mathematically correct in your statement that there's nowhere to go but up. There's still some down there.
I expect that from you today, and I will allow it.
But you're saying you feel that tonight Coby's turning it around.
I feel tonight he turns it around, man. This is not normal for Coby White, okay? It wasn't normal for him dropping 30 like that all the time either. He's somewhere in the middle, just like the truth. That's where it lies, ladies and gentlemen. He's not this bad, all right? You might not like him. You got issues with him. Cool. He ain't this, all right? This ain't Coby White. I expect him to be better.
I bbelieve him, yo. I don't know why, but I
believe
do. I didn't kill Killer, man.
Kill Killer, B.
And it's, again, not just Coby, not just Io.
Right.
They certainly have both played large parts. But let's now take a look at what the Bulls as a team have done behind the three-point line this season. This came earlier this morning from Kirk Goldsberry. There is that graphic. So y-axis, a.k.a. up and down, if you're a math simpleton like me, shows three-point efficiency, so three-point percentage, and this is across the entire season. And x-axis, a.k.a. left and right, shows three-point shooting volume, three-point attempts per 100 possessions. So in the top left quadrant there, you see the Bulls, who are attempting the fewest three-point attempts per 100 possessions this season, and by a big old fat gap. Because you see those other teams on the left side of that graph, starting with the Suns, then below them, Brooklyn and Philly, the Spurs and Grizzlies down there, right. Washington, all those teams that aren't taking as many. Look at the solid inch of space between them and the Bulls all the way at the left side of that graph.
Yeah.
And I think one of the Bulls' biggest problems in this stretch out of the All-Star break, the month of March, is that at least they were higher up on the y-axis of this graph earlier this season when they were still not taking a lot of threes, but they were taking slightly more than they are now, and they were hitting them at a more efficient clip. And now it's just like, well, at least you're not at the bottom left part of that graph, but it's still, it is a massive problem for the Bulls right now.
It is, Matt, and we've seen it because we've screamed it about them passing up those three-point shots. In particular, we've watched Io do it a lot. Coby's not passing them up. Coby's still taking them shots, man. He's going to keep shooting. That's what he do. Shoot or shoot, B. That's what they do. But Io passing up those shots, you can't have that. Javonte even passing up shots, you can't have that. Like, if it's open to the guys, you got to take the shot. You got to get them up, man. Vooch is interesting because his three-point shooting had struggled for basically a lot of this season. And now during this time, he's starting to hit those threes. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing it early in like the first, second quarter. He's starting to hit those three-point shots, man. So it's weird. Like when the team is doing worse as far as three-point shooting, Vooch is doing better. And when they were doing better, Vooch was doing worse. I got to meet somewhere. Again, that word comes up again, the middle. I got to meet somewhere in the middle, guys.
Somebody cute Jimmy World right now.
Oh, suck in the middle with you. So many things in the middle.
Speaking of Vooch, let's talk about him before we get to tip-off. Wanted to talk. We should end on something positive, right? Because I feel like the world is freaking ending right now. To take a look at what Vooch has done in the month of March compared to the first 4 months of the season.
Oh, I love those pictures.
It looks pretty great when you compare his October to February numbers of not quite 47% from the field and just above 30% from behind the three-point line.
Right.
And then in his month of March, he boosted his overall shooting numbers to just over 52%. And look at that, a nearly 10% increase from behind the three-point line.
Crazy.
39.3 in the month of March. And it's not like he's, the volume for Vooch, as we talked about the Bulls as a team, their volume being a problem. His volume, in March, he was taking and making several. Matter of fact, the last time the Bulls and Bucks saw each other, one of the few good things that happened is that Vuce was 4 or 5 from behind the 3-point line.
It's true.
Do it again tonight, Vuce.
We like that.
We love that.
It'd be nice.
So our pal Will was talking to Vuce at Morning Shoot Around and talking to him about maybe some of the reasons behind this late season resurgence of his shooting efficiency and the range of his shooting efficiency. And Vuce had this to say. Joey, can we throw that graphic up there real quick? Quote, just the rhythm offensively, learning to play with my new teammates, finding me being able to know how to play with them. It's all part of it. The process of growing together and building team chemistry. It was never a worry for me, just a matter of time before I was going to get there. And before that part of the quote, earlier on in his answer, he mentioned being in Orlando for 9 seasons, knowing his role, knowing every single night how many touches he was getting and where they were coming from on the floor. And earlier this season, Dave, speaking of me loving to be right, how often did you and I tell our Locked On faithful, all of the Vuce haters out there, guys, he went from being option 1 to option 3 and is trying to feel out new teammates. And he didn't even really get all that much of an opportunity to do so after the trade last season.
Right.
He was here for a couple of games before they go on that monster West Coast road trip.
Correct.
Then Zach LaVine goes out.
Yes, he does.
Oh, and now, by the way, you're playing with DeMar, you're playing with Lonzo, you're playing with all these new pieces. It was going to take Vuce some time.
Yeah, and we see it. Like, it was going to have to be that way for him. He was used to being the man. It takes a while when you're used to being the man. I can even dumb it down even more for you. Listen, if you are used to being the lead singer in the band and somebody else comes in and they like, you know what, now we're going to be a quartet. It's going to be a little hard for you to find out exactly where you're supposed to hit your vocal range and your octaves now. A little bit. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for you, man. But, yeah, I'm happy he's finding himself. They're finding him, too, also. Let's say that as well. Because now they're going to him. They were going to him before early, but now he's getting it where he wants it. You know what I mean? Because the Bulls, we struggle with getting him the entry pass. I miss you, Lonzo. We struggle with getting him the entry pass, man. And you start to see that a little bit better with him. And he's starting to hang out at 3-point line early now. Like, he's not doing it late in games so much anymore. But early on in the game, he's starting to hang out a little at 3-point line. And then he's working it inside. So sometimes he goes inside out. Sometimes he goes outside in, just depending. But he's finding his game. And that's what we needed him to do. And it's going to be vitally important, especially heading to these playoffs, that he knows where he stands.
He's also just increased his overall scoring and not just from outside. In addition to those splits you saw October through February versus the month of March, his October through January points per game splits, 16.8 versus combined February and March, 20.2. So he's averaging, 3.5 more points per game over the last 2 months of the season than his first 3 months of the season. Right. Certainly something to be encouraged by. And again, hopefully knowing that the Bulls are sans Zach LaVine tonight, you can hopefully count on Vuce to look to get more of his touches early on. Yeah. And what's the other thing that we've talked about? And that Milwaukee's going to throw some of these looks at DeMar tonight is when DeMar sees doubles, he sees traps. Where is that safety valve pass out of the trap? Do you go to Alex? Do you go to Vuce? And sometimes when you do go to Vuce, running your offense through that high post area, through that sort of like right around the free throw line sometimes where Vuce is that, the cutoff man essentially for passing out of the trap. Correct. And letting your offense flow through him at times. Yeah, you saw that. It's what they're doing. Top of the key, it's either going to be Vuce or it's going to be Caruso. And those are the guys who are going to make those decisions because those are two of your best passers pretty much, especially out of that situation. Io's a great passer, but his is more so on the break, when he's dropping off those no-looks inside. You know what I mean? He's got a sweet no-look. I want to go watch some no-look highlights of Io right now because they're really, really cool. But, yeah, man, I expect to see that a little bit more. I expect this game to be a little crazy because of what Milwaukee is. I'm sure they want to come in and get the sweep and get those things going. You heard Giannis talking about it in his post game of the last game. He was like, I'm going to get to Chicago, get some deep dish pizza, and hopefully get a victory against the Bulls. And I'm looking at him like, I believe him. I don't know why, yo. I mean – so the Bucks themselves have something to play for tonight. So obviously, unless you live under a rock, The Bulls clinch at least the 6th seed and clinch a playoff berth with a win tonight.
Yes.
They would also do so if the Cavs lose to Orlando tonight,
Yes.
which, by the way, that game was already underway. We'll know the result of that by postgame.
Woo-woo.
The Bucks can clinch the Central Division title by beating the Bulls tonight.
Ooh, they're going for
Which,
it.
if they do that on the United Center floor,
Yeah.
I'm going to go from being cranky to being real effing cranky.
But I don't think you should, Matt, because you already said they were going to lose by 40. Well, actually, you said 30 because Matt Thomas is going to be out.
Depends on whether or not Thomas is playing.
Yeah, it was.
Now
all
that you
dependent.
told me that Thomas is officially going to be a DNP, I shaded from 40 to 30.
Just to let you know, right now the Magic are up by 3 with 2 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Come on, Wendell! You can do it!
We always loved you. You were our favorite. Is he playing? No, he's not playing.
Wendell?
Wendell's not playing.
Oh, come on, man.
No, I knew it was right the whole time.
He's got an eye doctor appointment. Could not reschedule. He's got an eye doctor appointment.
Oh man.
I mean, and again, it would be a lot more satisfying to see the Bulls
would.
win their way into a playoff spot.
I would
as
love
opposed
to win this game.
Thank a different team for losing
Thank you for losing
as they're punching their ticket, and especially considering that still with the top teams in the East having a whole lot of difficulty finding ways to do that. They've got one win against the Boston Celtics.
That's it.
From November.
That's it.
Miami got swept on Saturday.
Out of there.
Bucks 0-3 coming into tonight.
Out of there.
Philly 0-4.
Out of there.
Get a win against one of these top East teams
Yeah.
before you get to the playoffs. Give yourself some confidence. Give yourselves a little morale boost.
Yeah, and do it for this guy whose mentions are going to be on fire because of Bucks fans just undying love.
Speak of the devil.
I muted all of them.
Bulls roster tonight. Grayson Allen, somebody.
Do it! Just do it!
Joey tried to kick it off.
Somebody step it up.
No,
Joe, you
I'm
look
not
like you'd
one
be
to
that
condone violence.
It's not his thing.
But, what did Cersei say in Game of Thrones? I choose violence.
I choose violence.
Bucks fans, you guys could come after me. At Joey Spathis.
Joe, you do look like that guy that would be delivering that to Grayson Allen. If you be on the floor, you look like you would be that dude.
Hey, use my fouls.
You got to use all 6.
Not doing much else out there.
Come on, man.
I'm not a Gottlieb. They're not running pin downs for me, coming off the screen and pulling up. So I got to do something.
I'm like, see, that's a dude who's willing to get 4 fouls in 2 minutes immediately. I like that. I like his style. Got to have that on the team.
I'm for it. I'm for it.
Come on, Bulls. Prove us wrong tonight.
Brian Carter in the comments sending us out saying, okay, y'all going to watch the game. Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Well said. We'll see y'all back here for
Shout out January.
postgame. Sign up for a PointsBet account while you're sitting down to watch the game tonight. We will be right back here coming to you live for CHGO Bulls postgame. For our producer, Joey, Big Dave, everybody else who's still hanging out with us here at our West Loop Studios, I'm Matt. C-Red. Be good.